and gals, and we're here from Drake Wing Game, and it's me, man, sort of the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you to the Let's Play episode of Heart of Amethyst, Acallus's Path. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back into it. Y'all had a really positive impression of the new updated sprites. They look great. Can't wait to see more. Anyway, alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Alright. I really need to take a breather. After being subject to constant humiliation, I decided to take some fresh air. The sky looks beautiful tonight, and the cold night breeze feels refreshing against my fur. It'd be a waste to be stuck inside that castle with those royals. I sigh again, feeling utterly defeated, the glass of wine that I never drank still in my hand. So, if we close the gap between the crystals and divide it by 2, then maybe, just maybe... I hear some whispering in the distance, barely loud enough for me to understand what they're saying. So I can't help but wonder who it might be, since most of the guests are inside the main hall. Curiosity takes over me, and I decide to scan my surroundings, paying close attention to where the whispers are coming from. The darkness is not a big deal, as the moon is full tonight, so the garden is well lit. Besides, there are not many places to hide in here. Aww. Eventually I find a strange-looking woman sitting on a stone bench. She has been talking to herself while holding a pen and small book in her hand. I ponder for a few seconds if it is a good idea to interrupt her, but I'm curious to know what she's up to. So I approach her slowly, trying not to startle her. She seems really focused on what she's doing. Hey, how are you? I say casually, but she didn't even bat an eye towards me. The girl just continues to aggressively write on the paper. She seems to be in some sort of trance. Maybe she's been cursed. What if a spirit took a liking to her and is now forcing her to scribble for the rest of eternity? I chuckle at my own ideas, walking around her and placing myself in front of her. From here, I can kind of see what she's noting down. It's some sort of mathematical formulas and drawing of crystals. How strange. I wonder if she's a researcher of some sort. You spoke to me, yes? She suddenly blurts out, making me jump a little. The lady looks at me through those big glasses of hers, never stopping her writing. Yeah, I did. Nice to meet you. I'm specimen number 35. That shall be your name. Excuse me? I see. Just like the previous 34 specimens, they don't react eagerly to their new given name. That could really be bad manners, like Specimen 19 explained. I must dig deeper into this manners term. The woman writes down something in her book, then she stands up from the bench. Wow, she's tall. She keeps her eyes glued to me, inspecting me from top to bottom as if I were some sort of strange creature. And this is the moment when I question my life choices. What was I thinking by approaching this weirdo? Would you consider yourself a male? Huh? I mean... yeah? I see. Fascinating. The subject seems to be confused about something as crucial as gender. Could this be a situation that happens to others? Further investigation required. No, wait, I am a guy. What sort of question is that? The subject appears to be in a state of distress. He's sweating. His heartbeat is elevated, and he raised his voice even though I'm standing close to him. Bro, what the fuck is with this circus music? Oh gosh, this woman is unnerving. Next question, Subject 35. Do you identify as a canine? I guess I better answer her without doubting, or else she's going to make a whole deal out of it. Yes, I identify as a fox. Interesting. And as a canine, have you ever felt the need to pee around your territory, eat raw flesh, and leave bite marks on your romantic interest? What do you take me for? I'm not an animal. Although that last part... I see. So, would you consider that you've outgrown your primal instincts in favor of a more civilized way of living? Yeah, sure, I did. Damn, I really hope this girl shares with me what she's been smoking, because it looks like a trip. Still, that begs the question, did we evolve to think like this, or were we engineered by a bigger force to be the way we are? Actually, among all the nonsense, that's a good question. Why are we different from the dog, foxes, or wolves that live in the wild? According to the church, we were created differently from the rest of them, but what if that's not true? I mean, there are no other theories. What else could it be, then? No, wait, hold up. I'm letting myself get dragged into this craziness. Alright, next question is... Wait, slow down, please. So, hey, kinda wondering, what's this all about? The girl looks at me confused, as if she doesn't understand my language all of a sudden. Merely an experiment. She comments as if this was the most normal thing in the world. Well, what's the investigation about? The girl places a hand on her chin and ponders for a moment before answering. Well, it started as an investigation about social interactions and canine behavior. But I soon grew tired of that, so I decided to start a new investigation about the male species. Although it has been mostly fruitless, as all of my specimens run away after the second or third question. I honestly can't blame those guys. And what's your name? Ah, yes, that is also part of the social code, isn't it? That is one of the conclusions I arrived at in my first investigation. My name is Petra. Nice to meet you. Wow, this is the first normal thing she said since this whole interaction started. Guess we're making progress. Nice to meet you, Petra. My name is Ehlly. Yes, I know many things about you, Specimen 35. My father has filled me in on the details. He said you're rude, uneducated, petulant, and apparently you have a bad smell. She leans closer and takes a quick whiff of me. Could it be that my source of information was wrong? Your smell was not disgusting to me. Perhaps it has to do with the variables of the experiment. Subject 35, run 100 laps around the garden and then come back to me for a new inspection. Alright, dude, you heard the lady? Time to get some exercise. But we leave that experiment for another time, yeah? If you insist, we shall make a next appointment. Thank the goddesses. By the way, you mentioned your father. Do I know him? Now that I think about it, Petra looks like someone I know, but who? As she's about to answer, a rustle in nearby bushes calls our attention, then we hear some steps approaching from somewhere. Once I turn around, I'm met with none other than Acallus himself. So it was you yelling. I was wondering what that was all about. The wolf approaches us, wearing a very fancy-looking suit which fits him nicely. He looks elegant and important at the same time, like the giant-ass bow. Although, I guess that's to be expected from the Grand Master. Yo, where you been? Just busy talking to some of the guests. What are you doing out here anyway? Before I can answer his question, Acallus notices the person behind me. His expression goes from curiosity to a mild annoyance, then it returns to his usual poker face. Petra, what a surprise. Hiya, cuz. Long time no see. Cuz, so this means... Of course! How did I notice it before? She's the spitting image of Acallus and his uncle. That jerk I met at the library earlier today. Wait, if that's true, then that means that asshole told her all those things about me. What brings you here? I was just conducting an experiment with my subject here present. Petra points, and Acallus lifts a brow at me. I rub the back of my head and give the wolf an awkward smile. He seems to understand that I'll explain later and decides to move away from this topic. So, how is your investigation with the polygon crystals going? Any breakthroughs? Most definitely. I've made some amazing discoveries. But I'll have to hold my tongue on this one, cuz Dad told me not to mention it to anyone until we made the official announcement. Ah, I see. So your investigation is ready to be published, I suppose. Cunning as always, Acallus manages to get information out of her without even trying. The girl covers her mouth and then looks down. Ah, dang it, I messed up again. Anyway, you really should go back to the ball, Petra. The main event is about to start. You might be right. After all, I'm required to be there. Very well, I'll go. Cuz. Test subject 35. Petra closes her notes and walks past us, taking a turn to the right as she reaches a crossroad. The thing is, the main hall is to the left. Did she do that on purpose? Heavens, she never changes. I must admit, she's way weirder than you, and that's saying a lot. I joke, but Acallus doesn't laugh at it. Maybe it's not the right time. She's a great investigator, but she gets lost in her own world too often for her own good. Is she really that big of a deal? Her work is actually impressive. My uncle thinks I don't know, but I know. She lets it slip from me all the time, from time to time. What's her investigation about? Well, I guess there is no harm telling you. So, she's been investigating for the past few years the properties of quartz and their possible use in magic manipulation. You see, it's been discovered recently that some of these crystals have a minor resonance with Crim. Rubies, for example, can store an excessive amount of Crim. Rubies, for example, can store an excessive amount of Crim, which upon its release burns at a high temperature, creating fire. So what you're trying to say is that rocks can explode now? No, it's not only that, but how do I explain this? Imagine the moon. How do you propose it shine its light upon us? I have no idea. Well, astrologists have discovered that the moon is actually a big rock in space. to put it in simpler words for you. And that rock is capable of channeling the energy the sun gives it, and then shine it back at us. But the moon doesn't store the energy, it just reflects it. That also happens with certain quartz. They reflect the creme. But in a hypothetical case, if we discover a crystal which is stable enough to store creme within it, the possibilities are endless. We could store an infinite amount of energy. New lore available. New lore is available. Creme! Magic. Oh, I wish it would tell you what it is. Yeah. Queen, all the church's divisions, same-sex relationships, canine types of magic. We've already gone over the types of magic, though. Okay. The wolf places his hand on his chin and looks away, lost in thought. I mean, it sounds like a fairy tale to me. It may not be, and that is worrisome. Could be the last straw she needs to take away my position as the Grandmaster. Goddesses know if she were to be the Grandmaster, it would all be turned upside down. Wait, she has a right to become the Grandmaster? I thought that spot is yours by law. It technically is, but if the Grandmaster is deemed incompetent by the bookkeepers, they can hold a vote to pass the mantle to the next candidate of the family. In this case, it would be her and not my uncle, since the title already skipped this generation. Although, to be honest, if she became the Grandmaster, I know very well that my uncle would assume all the responsibilities and do all the work for her. So, pretty much she would only be his puppet. Well, in a way. But she's always been so nothing would change. Silence fell upon us all of a sudden. Acallus seems to be conflicted about something, but I'm not sure if I should ask him. After all, this is a family business, and I don't want to intrude in his life. Ask if he's okay. Are you okay, buddy? Huh? The wolf barely acknowledges what I said, as he's been staring at thin air this whole time. And Andrews for your thoughts? It's nothing, really. I'm a bit worried. Petra may be a little over her head, but she's already published 2 different investigations about the flow of magic. Meanwhile, I haven't posted nothing I can call my own. I've only aided with other investigations, and my own personal one has been stuck for a few years. The wolf seems legitimately concerned about this matter. I feel really bad about him. I may not get it entirely, but I'm sure he must have his reasons to worry about his position being questioned. So I place my hand on his shoulder and try to muster a warm smile to try and cheer him up. Hey, for all I know, you're the smartest person in this entire castle. I'll give up so easily. I know you'll find a solution. Besides, you've got the king's support, right? That seems to brighten up his mood. The wolf's cheeks turn a little red as he looks away, bashfully. Let's not waste any more time. I'm sure the king must be waiting. The wolf's behavior returns to normal, which means he's back to his usual poker face. Want to go back together, then? He shakes his head in denial as he crosses his arms. No, sorry, I'll have to decline. I must meet with some of the bookkeepers before the main event starts. You, on the other hand, should not leave the main hall anymore. You're needed there. He scolds me as if I was a mere kid who didn't know what he was doing. In a sense, he's right, but he doesn't have to put it that way. Yeah, I'll go back, don't worry. He smirks back at me, relaxing a little when he hears me goofing off. Good. At least you do know how to listen. Good boy. He turns around and then waves his hand back at me, leaving my side as he walks towards the main hall. I watch him vanish into the sea of people. Alright, y'all. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silvermoon. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. And thank you to our gold tier patron, Tresem Guy. You're awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to our ultimate tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our not safe for work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.